back again, all you capitalist pigs. Now, many of you have noticed over the past couple of weeks that I have been, well, past couple of months really, that I've been searching for a new charting platform. And that has been partially for the business in terms of finding something that I can code in and something that is good technically we could offer as a supplement also to the NinjaTrader platform. And also I've been looking for something personally that I can use and, basically aligned with a broker. Now, I've been unable to find any charting packages up until now that I really liked that were attached to a brokerage, because typically brokers don't have good charting packages. They have something that will work, and or they might augment with a third party, or they might buy a third party software platform or something that's white labeled, but they're not taking the time to go into depth on developing a high quality charting platform because that's not the business that they're in. And only a small handful of traders are good enough to desire a high-quality charting platform. However, when we were at the the event that we just held here in Kansas City, a couple of my mastermind clients were using the charting package Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade. And I was talking with them a little bit about it and asked them how they liked it, and everybody had glowing things to say about it. And I had always steered away from, big brokerages, platforms. Number one, because they're typically not very good. And number two, because they're only for U.S. clients, unless you want to have your money with that broker here in the U.S. What I found was that, hey, this one, they said enough good things about it that I thought, well, maybe I should at least check it out. And so I downloaded it, and I've been playing around with it, and wouldn't you know it, I really stinking like it. And it also works with a Mac. So I've got here, I always do my analysis here every Sunday on the Mac. And normally I'm using a parallel software, but today I've actually got this charting package running on my Mac side. So what I want to do is I'm just going to do the analysis this week, and you guys can check it out. If you like it, hey, go with it. But I'm actually thinking about putting a little bit of money into a TD Ameritrade account just to trade it out and see how it functions, and if it performs the way that I hope it will. But let's do a quick run through here, and I'll show you some stuff on it. First of all, a little 6-market portfolio, pretty easy to set up, but I didn't really have any issue with that. One of the things I found most interesting here, if I just bring up Aussie dollar, is that look at here on the sidebar, is that I can do some different things. I can do live news events. So if you got a news event coming up for this particular currency pair, you can open up a news deal right underneath the chart, which is awesome. Level 2 quotes, I don't use level 2 quotes, but they're there. I'm not sure how deep they are. They've got a standard dashboard here, which I find to be utterly useless, but you might find it valuable. Big buttons, just like on the NinjaTrader platform, you've got some options here to buy market, sell market, change your quantity, all of that stuff. You also have the Auto Trader, which for those of you who like dome trading, there's a dome trader here, and I found that this is, at least in the little demo that I've been running this on, has been pretty doggone good. And then time and sale, if you care about that, again, not something that I use, but all this stuff is ready and just attached to the side of the chart. You can do range bars, and you can do tick charts and all the stuff that I like to have in this charting package as well. On the bottom here, I've got my standard RSI that I use whenever I'm doing analysis. But again, use it if you want to, but I found it, I'm liking it, and so I will share with you guys what I'm liking and what is working for me, and you guys can do with that what you will. We're going to start off the analysis today with Aussie dollar, looking at the support. Now, I said in a little ditty that I wrote for this week that, I'm almost a little nervous to do any type of analysis and to do any type of predictive analysis, so to speak, because the market is just so heavily driven by the decisions that are being made by governments, by the ECB, by the Federal Reserve, and if we're waiting on pins and needles for these guys to make their next big decision. Are they going to, stimulus? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Because stimulus is good, and we'll see huge rallies in the market if the government decides to go ahead and the Fed decides to do its stimulus. There's nothing that we can do. Doesn't matter what type of underlying fundamental basis is happening below the surface. If they decide to do quantitative easing 3, we're going to see a rally in the stock market, and all of the talk that I can do about the dangers of that and what that's really going to lead to will make no difference to the market. It will go up, guaranteed. And so you can almost throw a lot of your fundamental analysis out the window. So if we're throwing out technical analysis, we're throwing out fundamental analysis, what are we left with? And I was sitting this week after hearing the news on Friday about the news in the U.S. Unemployment 8.1% and 90,000 new jobs created or whatever it was, and I'm thinking to myself, man, how does a guy continue? How do you make decisions when you're stuck with this type of trading environment? And I think sometimes I just need a dose of my own medicine. And I really need somebody to slap me on the back of the head and say, hey, you know what? The technicals still work. You come back in, analyze the chart, trade what you see, and ignore the rest of this noise that's happening in the marketplace. And guys, every once in a while I need a dose of my own medicine. And I came back in and I was watching. I wanted to do an update, and so I went back and I wanted to clarify exactly what I had told you guys from the last time we did when we did a report, because I didn't do one last week naturally, and I've done this whole thing in Kansas City, and I've been completely out of it for about 2 weeks now. And so I went back and reviewed the last time that I had put out a Forex market preview, what exactly we talked about. And starting out with Aussie dollar, what I said was we're looking at 102 to 103 area was basically where I was looking at for potential reversals. And the 102 area was the one that I really liked. And of course, now if you take a look at the chart here, if I go ahead and open this up, you're going to see previous structure resistance. Market came back down in, found support. At 103s, we found a little bit of support too. We got a little bump at 103, and I talked about 103 being an area just because of this previous resistance level here that we could probably see a bump there, and we did get just a little pop, but not much. Then the market comes down into 102s. Right at the lower part of the prediction level that I gave, and then look at what happens. Boom, boom. 2 huge moves right out of there. We're looking at a daily chart. So 2 huge days just happened to correspond with the news event. And so even with the news, in play, the structure level still held, and we still had exactly what I thought we would have. Now, where are we going with this? Well, if I bring in my Fibonacci retracement level, let me just, and again, I apologize, guys, because this is kind of a new platform for me. I've been playing with it for a while. But if I go ahead and draw in my Fibonacci retracement here, 618 is going to come in right along that previous structure support level. So I would expect to see 104.50s area and could potentially see the retest here at 158s. Okay, so I'd be watching for, again, if I go ahead and just consolidate this chart here. Let me consolidate up here what I'm looking at. We're still technically bearish here, although we have found some support. So what I would expect to see is a rally back up into here, and then potentially a retest of the 102s. And we'll see whether or not the market's going to break through into new structure lows or move on a little bit higher. But I am still bearish here in terms of my long-term view technically. Sorry, guys. And the 618, 786 area is going to be a key point I'll be watching for reversals right around the 104.50s. And then if we get above that, if you're going to short it in here, you're basically looking at a very, a potential reversal here at around the 618. Your stops are going to have to go above the spike high anyway. So some of you may want to wait for a little deeper retracement about 105s before you're looking for your shorts, if you're going to be shorting. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at euro dollar. Euro dollar clearly here breaking structure. We're on a weekly chart actually, and you see the previous resistance level here clearly being violated on the weekly chart. We broke above 127s. Next stop is basically 133 on the weekly, and the reason I had to go to the weekly here, guys, is because if I bring in the daily chart, you're going to see that there really is nothing. There really is nothing between 127s and 133s. Now, I told you we were highly likely to see 123s or 127s. I was pretty confident that the market would find some resistance there, and it did not. It just completely ignored it, like it wasn't even there, blew right through it on the news, and now we're looking at 133s, so we're back into bullish momentum here. Market's significantly overbought right now, sitting at about 91. So what I would expect to see here is a retracement back down into the 127s. So be watching for that. Be watching for that pullback this week into the 127s for buying opportunities on trend continuation to around 133s. And again, I say all this, and there could be a news event tomorrow and could completely destroy everything that I'm saying, because that's the kind of environment that we're in. We can see radical changes in opinions over a very short period of time. Let's go ahead and take a look at pound yen. Pound yen did, we're looking at this again on a daily chart, pound yen did break structure to the upside, break above, close above the previous high here. And now has come back down into retest. If I bring this down into a 4-hour chart, I'll show you a little bit more clearly what's happened there. Market stopping on a dime right in there. Now, a lot of traders will ask, how do I know where I should be eyeballing this type of pullback? Where should I be looking for that retracement or that trend continuation after the market breaks structure? Well, if I draw in a little rectangle here and I go from, way I go is from highest high to, highest high to highest close. Somewhere like right in there. So I'll create for myself a little area where the market could potentially reverse. So if I'm looking for trend continuation, I'm looking for the market to come into this zone. Now let's drop down to the 4-hour chart and just look at that. Look at how beautiful that is, how the market comes right down into the base part of that zone and then starts to rally out of it. Now, I do not know whether or not we're going to see any reversal here or whether this market is just going to stall, but I can tell you that based on what I'm seeing here, sorry again guys, excuse me, that what I'm seeing here is the market has broken structure to the upside and has now come back down in, and structure has held. So if you're going to take out a long position here, stops again below these swing lows down here, below 123.70s. So under 123.70s. And then we'll potentially look for trend continuation. Now, where could we go? Again, above this price point, you're looking at least 127, 128s, and then potentially 130, 150. So you got a long way here, a lot of movement. Very good risk reward on this particular trade. And then, last but not least, we'll take a look at Euro Yen, another yen pair. Market's on its way to basically $1.01. And I'm going to be looking for some potential reversal opportunities here at 101. I will be looking for, again, double top, bearish divergence on a 4-hour chart. Market's significantly overbought right now, sitting at about 92, 90, 93.50. So again, a press up into this, if we don't get any type of pullback, certainly is going to be a selling opportunity as the market comes back into heavy resistance there at 101s. So that's a quick look around the market of the stuff that I'm identifying that is the best opportunities to trade, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Naturally, nothing that I'm saying here should be considered a solicitation for you to buy or sell anything. I carry no licenses. I am not authorized by any regulatory body to be giving you advice. So do with it what you will. My hope is that you can use some of this analysis in conjunction with what you're doing to help validate what you're doing, or to maybe cause you to think a little bit further in your decision-making process. But whatever you do, do it with conviction. Plan your trade your plan, and until next time, good luck and good trading. I'll talk to you soon.